Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Candela. I'm a realtor here in South Florida, and today we're going to be talking about the pros and the cons of living in South Florida, because living in South Florida has a lot of pros, but I am going to keep it real, and I'm also going to be telling you the cons. So if that's what you're here for, let's get going. As always, all my links are going to be down in the description. If after this video you still have questions about South Florida, all my contact information is going to be down below. You can schedule a call with me, you can DM me, you can email me, whatever you like, it's going to be in the description down below. So let's start with the pros, because we're positive. So let's look at the positive first, shall we? So my first pro in the list is absolutely going to be the weather, because it is one of my favorite things about living here. It is the weather. I am originally from Argentina, and over there it gets cold, and I don't like the cold. So living here is something I am very grateful for, because I don't have to wear a jacket at night. So climate is 100% the best thing. We do have mostly sunny days. We also do have rain, so I'll definitely going to tell you about a lot in the cons, because we don't love rain. But the climate is a #1 pro for me. As we know, South Florida enjoys very warm tropical weather. It is humid, and we do have very mild winters. So it is definitely a great place to live if you prefer more of the warm weather all year round. The winters are really not too cold. I think it's been maybe in the 50s this winter. I haven't gotten my boots out. It really hasn't been too cold. Not even around Christmas. It could get sometimes down in the 40s, but it is rare, and when it is in the 40s, we get the bonfire going, we bring the boots out, we bring the beanies, because we really never get to. So yeah, that is my #1 pro of living in South Florida. #2, I would say the beaches. We have some beautiful, beautiful beaches. I feel so blessed to just drive, 20, 30 minutes and be at the beach. I absolutely love it. We have really nice ones all the way from, up north in Jupiter, Juneau. Beaches are gorgeous. You go down to Palm Beach. Beautiful too. You have so many options. All of these areas, all of these beaches are beautiful. Some of them have free parking, some don't, but that is definitely, of course, something you already knew, but I just want to make sure you know how nice the beaches are. Definitely very easy access to sun, sand, and water sports. So if you love the outdoors and you love being in a bikini all year round or a bathing suit, then this is probably your place. #3 on the list would be the outdoor recreation, a little bit of what I was just mentioning. There's a lot to do outside. So, a lot of boating, fishing, we have golfing, we have hiking. It is amazing. You can do so many things outside. Of course, when it's summer and it gets a little bit too hot, you have to stay hydrated, because you might pass out because it gets really hot. But other than that, there's a lot of outdoor activities to do. So it's definitely one of the perks about living here. You get to do that all year round, especially during winters, where everyone loves to be outside because it is not too hot and it is just a perfect weather. Like right now, it's been a little bit hotter. We're in March now, but February was beautiful. It was honestly really, really good month. That is #3. Let's go to #4 in my list, and that is going to be that culture diversity. There are so many different cultures in this area. It is honestly so interesting. That's something I love about it. I remember when I moved here, I thought everyone was gonna be the same and everyone was gonna be just very standard American, which is what I thought from not being here. And to my surprise, I have met people from so many countries, and not only South America, and yes, South America too. I've met people from like every single country. It has been super cool to get to know their cultures and just their way of being, but also people from Europe, people from Africa, people from everywhere really. And it's been super, super interesting, because it really opens up your head, and your mind. If you live somewhere where everyone's just pretty much the same and they have the same experiences, it doesn't push you to grow and to be as open-minded as you would be if you live somewhere like this. So that's something that really interested me when I first moved here, and I thought it was super cool. So I had to add it to my list of pros, of course. Number 5 would be all the entertainment options and nightlife. If you are into that, South Florida has some great options for entertainment and all the nightlife scene. So there's a lot of bars, there's a lot of clubs, restaurants, cultural events. There's always something going on, and of course, this is usually in the downtown areas. If you live in the suburbs, there's not as much going on, but the good thing is that you have very easy access to highways, and you can just be there in 20, 30 minutes. It's really not bad. So even if you live very west and you're not close by, you know, downtown West Palm Beach or the Ave, wherever the main areas would be, you're still close enough, and it really allows you to have a lot of entertainment, a lot of nightlife. There's definitely a lot going on, so that's pretty cool. Now, number 6 on my list would be those tax benefits. We do not have state income tax, as you probably already know, which is definitely advantages for residents looking to save on taxes. So if you live here, take that into account. We don't have state income tax. And last but not least at all on my list are the pub subs, okay? If you don't know about pub subs, what are you doing? It is definitely one of my favorite things about living in South Florida. And I remember the first time I had a pub sub, I had no idea. They're amazing. We have Publix's here, so you just go to Publix Deli, you ask for a chicken tender pub sub, you grab it, you take it to the beach, you eat it very happily because it is an amazing experience to have. So I definitely wanted to add that to my list. And now that we said all the wonderful things about South Florida, let's go to the real part and say some of the cons about living here. So con number 1 of living here, just like I said, it is beautiful weather. I also mentioned it is hot. And when I say hot, I mean hot, very hot. It can feel up to 104, 105 degrees, especially during those summer months. It is hot and humid, so expect for your hair to increase in size after you straighten it, and expect to possibly be sweating the second you leave the house. So that is the reality of the hot weather. Yes, it's amazing, but it's also a lot. Thankfully, we have a lot of AC everywhere, of course. Everywhere you step in has AC, but it definitely gets very hot. Your car will burn you when you get in after leaving it parked under the sun. Just be aware of that. It definitely gets really, really hot. Number 2 in the cons list, with that hot weather come hurricanes. So of course, this region is very susceptible to hurricanes, to tropical storms. And of course, that is a bit of a risk and you have to be ready for that. So when hurricane season comes, be ready, make sure you have, your shutters in place, ready to be closed if you need, panels or impact, whatever you have for storm protection. That's something you have to take into account when you live here. Of course, as soon as you have an alarm, you have to go buy toilet paper, because you never know how much toilet paper you're gonna need in a hurricane. Okay, that's a bit of a joke, but for some reason, as soon as a hurricane is alerted, everyone runs to buy toilet paper, and then there's toilet paper shortage. So that's definitely something very interesting. Yeah, it gets a little crazy when a hurricane gets announced. Everyone runs to the grocery stores and they just absolutely buy everything they can see. So be aware to have some essentials, definitely water, definitely some flashlights and card games for hurricanes. Let's go to number 3, and that would be the cost of living. Some areas in Florida have a very high cost of living. I would say most areas have increased. That would be, housing prices, property taxes, insurance rates, things like that have definitely gone up a lot since there's been a lot of demand in this area. So take that into account. I still think it's 100% worth it, and I am happy to pay for the cost of living because I love living here. But of course, everyone has their own situation, so take that into account. It does have high prices. You can find better prices depending on the area that you choose, but just know that housing has gone up a lot. It has been a little bit more stable lately, but still it's increased, Let's go to number 4 in the list, and that would be the traffic. It definitely gets very congested around here. The South Florida's population growth is definitely the main cause for this increased traffic congestion, particularly during peak hour, rush hour. So that can definitely be frustrating. Also during season, it's a lot of people driving around here, and a lot of people don't know how to drive. And yeah, that's something that you need to know. But of course, it really isn't that big of a deal, at least for me. We're just kind of used to it. But yeah, that is definitely on the cons list. Now, number 5, that will be the high humidity. So I did mention that to you regarding your hair, but not only that, that humidity of course affects houses. So Florida is more prone to mold because it's very, very humid. It could be uncomfortable for some people, especially during summer months. So just take that into account. You have to keep up the maintenance of your home. The AC always has to be running. You know, if you have any issues with that, you need to fix ASAP because you might melt inside your house. And let's go to number 6 on my list would be the crowded tourist areas. As you probably know, everyone loves to vacation in Florida. And of course, that means that if you live here, there's a lot of tourists going around. So especially if you go to like Miami area, of course, that's just something to take into account, you know, during peak seasons, which season over here is between October and November to May, so around Mother's Day, it's where it ends. And those months are definitely the most crowded. There's a lot of people around here. We can tell in the traffic, we can tell in our favorite restaurants, everything gets booked up a lot more. All of that stuff, if you live here, you kind of just have to get used to it. Of course, everyone wants to vacation where we live, so we just have to accept it and, you know, let them have fun, I guess. So last one here on the list would be that potential for flooding. So that is something real around here. Some areas are prone to flooding, especially during heavy rains or storms. You know, we have a lot of those tropical storms, which of course can cause property damage, a lot of inconvenience. So all I can suggest for that is make sure to get property insurance. You never know what's gonna happen with flooding. And even if you don't live that close to the beach, you still never know. We do get a lot of rain at times. Flooding is a bit of a con, but yeah, I haven't personally been affected by it. Let me knock on some wood, not by rain flooding, but it does happen. It did happen in Fort Lauderdale not too long ago. It was a bit of a mess, so that is a bit of a risk. But yeah, if you take the precautions, it's really not too bad. So that's what I would suggest. And of course, there are more good things and more bad things about living here, but these are the main ones that I thought of. If you can think of any more, please leave them down in the comments because I would love to see what you're thinking. And again, if you have any other questions about South Florida, all my contact information is down below. And if you don't have any questions, then I will see you next video. Bye!